Welcome to Volstars, a Gammastrike production.
Welcome to Volstars, where we talk everything markets and those who make them. Today's episode is brought to you by you, Craig. Or maybe your name is Greg. Look, we checked our Spotify Wrapped. We know our audience metrics. We have exactly one listener. And frankly, we're getting a little worried about you, buddy. As Twitter financial gurus start dropping like flies and shutting down their funds, shouting angrily at oil for being too high for too long or not high enough, thinking this is the actual last 2-week warning from Donald Trump, and we couldn't possibly bluff Iran for 9 times in a row. Midterms are coming up, and you need those stonks to go up, up, up. We know. Against your better judgment, you stopped pouring through the Gammastrike datasets and understanding how options positioning was changing, and just YOLO'd in a fit of ketamine-fueled euphoria brought on by watching more than 4 hours of CNBC. Kramer's siren call in a room full of lazy eyes forced your hand into a full-port SPX 8000 call buying spree, and now you need out. Just know that there's still hope. So just hit the like button on this episode so we know you're still hanging in there. And finally, by Gammastrike.com, providing actual real-time data for every type of trader. You've tried the rest, I'll try the best. Gammastrike.com. I'm Jay Fresh, and I'm joined by our co-hosts, Gherkin and Dork. Let's get into the market overview. All right, so Girk is currently finishing up something else, and we didn't want to wait. We thought we'd teach him a little lesson and start without him. And I think because he's the only one of us three that really cares about talking endlessly about oil and Iran, that we're going to table that until he shows up. And we're going to talk about my favorite topic that he hates to talk about. AI.
Woo!
Because, I mean, love it or hate it, mostly hate it, there's at least a lot to talk about. Never ending, right? Nobody can shut up about it. I would like walk down the street with my family and people are just randomly talking about like the ethical considerations of AI. And it's just like, I cannot get away from this shit. So instead of trying to get away with it, we're going to embrace it. So I think the big thing going on, everybody seems to be getting their panties in a wad a little bit over all of the layoffs that are happening. Any thoughts on this?
I would love to see a chart showing how much we overhired in the tech sector during the pandemic, superimposed with how much layoffs we're experiencing. That would be interesting. Because if we've laid off more people than we've hired since then sure, you could say there's some sort of an increase in efficiency, but I don't even think we're there yet.
I'll give you a little pop quiz here, put you on the spot. In Google's latest earnings report, did their number of employees go up, down, or stay the same?
I believe it was up.
I'm going to say the same.
Says it was up.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's something to consider too. I mean, a lot of this is sort of like, I just remember I was coming up in undergrad. I was doing, my first internships and things. And I spent a little bit of time with General Electric. And there was like definitely a lot of part of that culture was like cull the bottom 10% every year. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're reducing your overall workforce. You're just turning over and trying not to hold on to too much dead weight. And I think some of that is going on here. Definitely there is AI washing going on where whatever firing is taking place or layoffs are taking place are being blamed on AI because it's sort of it's like, oh, it's just because we're more productive, right? But obviously that so far hasn't been the case because nobody's profit margins are going up.
Yeah, I think that's something that, with what Dork said, I think there was a lot of overhiring during the pandemic. We also heard about how many people were doing like multiple jobs virtually too. And so I do think some of it is related to that. And then I also do think that there is some level of, I don't know, I think real starting to hurt the bottom line, which maybe is attributed in part due to a lot of older folks retiring too. I don't know.
If you haven't looked at it, I implore you to look at the overemployed subreddit, because yes, it was a full-on fad for people who are working from home to get 2, 3, 4, even 5 jobs simultaneously. And the whole goal was to be able to just exist and keep those jobs all together for as long as possible and just collect money from them like welfare practically. Like they just made sure
Sounds
to stay on top of
extremely
emails
productive, yeah.
and show up to meetings, and that was it. So,
Oof.
yeah.
I don't do a good job of staying on top of all my emails, just because most of the emails that I don't answer go away or resolve themselves with no input from me. So it's a good
Must be nice.
system. If you're not desperate to get a hold of me, then whatever it is you need is not that important. Yeah. So, I brought up a couple of other things in AI beyond, layoffs, which are always ongoing. I know Meta's going to lay off a bunch more people, if they haven't already. It's an ongoing thing. I think as there's larger weakness in the economy. I saw some data that came out. God, I think it was either MIT or Stanford. It was one of the big engineering schools that showed the underperformance of employment versus like sector, and they like tried to weight it towards how much it could be impacted by AI, and they claimed that there's like this very small relationship between if you're potentially more impacted by AI, your field has underperformed in employment over time, but it's really just a plot of noise. I mean, we've all seen that, right? It's like this big scatter, and then there's like a little line in the middle of it that's got a slight slope on it to imply that there's some directionality to it when it was all just noise. So I think that that's still, I mean, sure, potentially there could be something that shows up, but for right now, I don't think that the data supports any of the narratives that are ongoing. But I wanted to bring up a couple other things regarding AI, one of which I want to have a little bit of fun with. So I don't know if any of you guys have been following the lawsuit between Elon Musk and OpenAI, right? I mean,
God.
Elon is really butthurt about the fact that OpenAI went public, or sorry, that they went for profit and kind of cut him out. And so, I mean, this whole like him starting XAI was a function of him getting butthurt about all of that, and he just wanted to compete against them to try to, make their lives difficult. But they recently did. I think they've now done closing arguments, and now it's up to the jury to figure out if they had legal standing to go for profit or not, because Musk, to his credit, he did give them a bunch of money early on to do this nonprofit mission of trying to create safe intelligence for all, and thought that the nonprofit status was very important for that mission. And even Sam Altman and all of them openly acknowledged like it should be a nonprofit. It's a very important part of what it is that we're doing, right? And it wasn't until everybody saw dollar signs and it's like, oh shit, we have to figure out a way to pretend like we didn't set this up as a nonprofit, and they did the dance that they're doing. But anyway, I want to go to this Vox article because they've done like one of those like 5 things you have to know
Oh God.
kind of thing, but it's about this trial. But they called it the 5 most unhinged revelations, so it's bound to be good, right? So everybody, OpenAI's board members all questioned Sam Altman's honesty. That actually, it wasn't just like the board members nobody had ever heard about, but it included also, the other founders like Mira Murati and other folks that all thought that he was basically a liar, untrustworthy, and they didn't like being lied to. So they wanted him ousted. I mean, that's why like Ilya left and Mira left because they failed to basically run this coup against him. And so there was a lot of stuff that came out about the depths of how they felt about all of that I thought was interesting. Apparently, Greg Brockman kept a diary.
That'll teach him.
Basically chronicled his stream of consciousness as he weighed whether it would be, quote, morally bankrupt to pivot into a for-profit enterprise. And he says, I can't see us turning this into a for-profit without a very nasty fight, he wrote in 2017. It'd be wrong to steal the non-profit from Musk. He's really not an idiot. His story will correctly be that we weren't honest with him in the end.
Wow. Not exactly evidence he'd want to show up on a trial.
Yeah. And, you know, but it's certainly not one-sided. Elon Musk also is an insane person, and some of this has come out in the trial as well. So apparently OpenAI built a bot that could beat pretty much everybody in Dota 2. I don't know what that is. It's a game. I've heard it before, but it's a very popular online game, PvP, I'm assuming, or is it?
Yeah, it's PvP, I think.
Yeah, it was originally based off of like Warcraft 3, I think like the Heroes campaign or whatever. And then that was the original Dota, I think. And then Dota 2 is completely separate. But
it's one of those games, right, where you can, like, they have professional leagues, right?
Yes.
Like you get paid to play this game. So it's like very intense. And they built an AI that could basically beat everybody, which Musk described as a triggering event. It's time to take the next step. At which point Musk then gave basically everybody a Tesla Model 3. I'm assuming to butter them up. And then this is what the article says. He then summoned them to his self-described, Elon describes it himself as a haunted mansion. So I guess he owns a haunted mansion for discussions of a possible for-profit arm of OpenAI where he served them whiskey. And I guess they were served whiskey by his girlfriend at the time, Amber Heard, most famously known for pooping the bed. And it goes on to say, at one point, Musk became so irate at his guests' insistence that they share control of OpenAI, rather than cede absolute control to Musk, that Brockman testified, I actually thought he was going to hit me and physically attack me. Musk repeatedly pitched having Tesla absorb OpenAI. And he even mused at one point that OpenAI should pass on to his children. And then, then he went on once all that started falling apart, he went and built his own competitor and started, working against him. But apparently, so there's this thing, or at least there was this thing at OpenAI called a chief futurist, which I have no idea what that is. I guess somebody that thinks about the possible implications of what their stuff could be in the future. Who knows? It's like when HP hired will.i.am or whoever.
It sounds like a really cushy job.
Yeah. Yeah. I want that job. I could come up with all sorts of random shit. I just read a bunch of sci-fi novels and just note down like what sounds really crazy and be like, ooh, that could happen.
Hover boots.
Anyway, OpenAI's chief futurist, the chief of all of the futurists. So I'm assuming there's a whole team of futurists who futured together. Regarded about Musk that he snapped and called me a jackass. And then later, I guess, Dario Amodei, who now runs Anthropic, awarded him a small golden statue of a donkey's ass. As this is all very bizarre, but super interesting. I promise this will have a larger economic point that I think is salient for this week's discussion. This one, I don't even think it's really worth talking about. We all know Microsoft got involved with OpenAI to avoid being left behind, which ultimately they made Copilot, which is one of the worst things they've ever made. So I'm going to say they failed at not being left behind. And then I thought this was interesting that Musk testified that we don't want to have a Terminator outcome. At which point the judge visibly rolled his eyes. And apparently he spent a lot of time during this trial to avoid talking about all of these existential risks, which I give the judge credit for that, right? Because one of the really frustrating things about a lot of judges is that they just simply don't understand the technology that they're presiding over. And so I give this judge credit for being like, yeah, okay, you're just making shit up. Let's stick to the facts. But yeah, I mean, it's just the bigger point that this is why they made this company to begin with, to try to steal the world's data ethically. I'm not really sure what the thought process there is, but yeah. So anyway, what I think regardless of the outcome of this trial, I think Musk has succeeded in the ultimate goal of muddying the waters to delay their IPO. So that Musk can IPO before them and try to steal their thunder, which is exactly what Musk is trying to do now. There's even reports that they're trying to accelerate the accelerated timeline of putting SpaceX on IPO, which for people who haven't been following, how did it go? SpaceX absorbed XAI, but I'm trying to think, did they absorb something else too? I'm not sure. But I think all of this ridiculous discussion of putting AI data centers in space, which Musk, I believe, was one of the first proponents of, was to create a plausible reason for why SpaceX would absorb XAI, presumably two completely different companies. And why would you want that company to absorb XAI? Well, because XAI's books look like dog shit, and he can't IPO just the dog shit. So he has to try to IPO something that doesn't look completely like dog shit. He's basically making sausage and selling, hiding the fat in the fat chunks in the sausage shell. So that prospectus could come out as early as this Wednesday.
Wow, that's fast.
I think the plan is to IPO in June, but yeah, they're really pushing. So that, if they actually get this prospectus out this week, that'll be a lot of fun for me. I'm definitely going to get my hands on it and dig through it, and we're definitely talking about it next week on Vol Stars. There's no avoiding it because I'm so sick of talking about Trump giving Iran 2 more weeks before he blows them to smithereens. Which, if Girk ever joins, we'll have to talk about. But we can avoid Iran completely, I think.
Well, so isn't SpaceX also, or isn't Musk also pushing for SpaceX to be included in the S&P 500 like way, way, way faster than is normal?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'll have to look it up if it's the S&P or the NASDAQ or both. Because of its large size, right? I mean, there's rules that there are a number of minimum thresholds you have to meet and a number of categories to be eligible to join various indices. And one of those rules is amount of time that you have actually been a public company, which is a problem for, Musk wants a lot of natural buyers, right? A lot of passive buyers who are just going to buy his company and prevent any adverse outcomes, because one thing that nobody wants to have happen is for one of these big labs to IPO and then it just to tank, right? And so
I
I
thought
think
that's what
this is just
IPOs were for.
well, you want the IPO to tank after your shareholding, your share selling blackouts end, so that insiders can sell all of their shares. Because usually they put some sort of limitation on it so that you can't just dump everything right away, because they want to prevent that, that momentum to die, because they want to build momentum, right?
I mean, it's IPOing at $1 trillion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like $1 trillion value. It's close. I don't remember what the exact number is, but they're going to be raising a ton of money. I don't remember what the multiple is, but it's probably something on the order of $100 billion they're selling.
It's crazy.
Which is quite substantial, and you have to ask yourself, I mean, up until this point, it seems like the money for AI is endless, but we have to wonder, is it? Right? Because a lot of the money is already getting locked up in these data center deals, and without going in too much into Iran, at least with the oil prices spiking, right? I mean, all the money that they've raised to build these data centers under construction now is no longer enough money to finish them, right? They're all going to have to go up in value, because the work itself, like renting all of the equipment, the people building all of the infrastructure that's going to go into the data center, are all of their energy costs have gone up, right? I mean, energy goes into everything, and so they're gonna have to raise more money just to finish what they've already started, right? So I have to imagine that the appetite for a brand new entity is probably we're probably starting to stretch things a little thin, where people are just like, I'd love to, but I'm all tied up right now in other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing how this pans out over the next couple quarters for sure in terms of the AI data center build out. I expect it's going to start losing its legs fairly shortly if oil stays above $100 a barrel. And I mean, it's funny how much the data center build out is the one thing kind of keeping the economy looking okay. That and servicing old people's needs, so once that falls and it's just old people being old that is making the economy look okay, it's not going to look nearly as good.
The part that I think is interesting too, though, is public sentiment on these data centers has started to shift, right? I think especially in the past 6 months, there's been a lot of, you remember back in the days in the 80s, for anybody who's old enough, the not in my backyard was kind of the mentality with like reactors that were going to be built.
Yeah, NIMBY, man.
Yeah, that's coming back. People are like, I don't want another data center in my area. And public sentiment's starting to flip. And then the problem, as you guys are calling it too, is the infrastructure cost. It's substantial and it does take time to build these up, right? So you don't have that money sitting around that can be really put into anything else. I do think you're right that there is going to come a point where enough is enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think just the fact that Musk even wants to try to cram this thing into the indices to get all those passive flows and passive buying, I think that's a sign that he's maybe thinking about this as well, right? Because if you think your IPO is going to do well, like you don't. I mean, maybe he's also just his brain has been so emulsified by never being told no by anybody for the last 10 years that maybe he just feels entitled to it. I mean, who knows? But to me, it kind of seems like a sign that he's also thinking about, hey, I need to make sure that this thing goes off without a hitch. And he's the king of selling momentum and selling vaporware forever, right? I mean, nobody I think will ever come close to his ability to do that. Which, I think that's ultimately not a great thing, but respect for the game or the player in the game, right?
I thought you were going to say
Greatest to
his
ever
brain
do
was
it.
emulsified by ketamine.
Well, yeah, also true. Probably related.
Yeah. The ketamine-assisted executive actions. Gotta love it.
So one more thing too, touching on that topic. A lot of the articles I've read have really kind of highlighted the fact that not only have companies kind of largely whitewashed a lot of the AI, you know, firings and that, they're not seeing the productivity, but then there's also a substantial loss of cultural knowledge as a lot of the people are kind of walking out the door. And I do wonder what the long-term ramifications of that is going to be.
Yeah, I can tell you what it's going to be because it happens all the time in science, which I have spent, the last almost 20 years of my life in. Um, I've seen entire cycles now where basically when you have a hype cycle and you make a change that is not a long-term sustainable change, and you essentially kill off a generation of folks who are an expert in something, they don't sit around and wait to be called back later when you decide you made a mistake. They go and do other things and they disappear, and you can't find, and so you have to basically start over and rebuild that human element, that human expertise. And I think that is certainly going to happen here. I think a lot of people who are getting into slop coding are going to find that that's going to be a challenge, right? I mean, could you imagine if I was in charge of a company that ran, you know, a SaaS basically, which we are, and everybody just vibe coded it, and then the people left, and somebody else came in and just looked at it and said, "What the fuck is this? I don't like this doesn't make any sense. I don't even know how. Like I don't even know how I would add something to it. Like this is just spaghetti mess, right? Like half the code's not even being used. There's 20 versions of the same function being called in slightly different ways, and some of them were written with mistakes in them that had proliferated, right? It's just like you just add up 500 of those things and you just realize that, like, oh, we're going to have to burn this to the ground and start over. Like it would be catastrophic, but you won't realize that until it's too late, right? And before that point, you're just like thinking, wow, so and so really got this feature done fast, or so and so did this, right?
Right.
So
And I
yes,
think
everyone.
that's going to be a big part of it is first 2 or 3 months after, it's like, yeah, we're fine, everything's great. It's the stuff that you realize 4 or 5 months down the road where it was like, "Oh, shoot, yeah, that was a huge deal. Oops, we let that guy go. What do we do now?"
Yeah, I mean, what we're gonna see I guess short term, medium term is probably a degradation in service reliability. We've already started seeing that in some major service providers like AWS and those guys. We've seen an uptick in their downtime. Interesting, direct, and even at least one so far, I think, has been directly attributed to some sort of automated, agent just absolutely fucking wreaking havoc on their system.
Well, what was
So,
it? Remember, like that kernel level issue from
oh, the
was
null
it
pointer from what was it called?
was it CrowdStrike
CrowdStrike.
or Cloudflare? One of
CrowdStrike.
those. CrowdStrike, yeah. That apparently parts of it were vibe coded.
I mean, how else are you going to get a null pointer exception in your code for something as mission critical as CrowdStrike's shit?
I I don't presume to know, but I mean, it's definitely out there, and I've noticed myself, like even I'm wondering, and this is something that I haven't seen hardly anything about. Right, everybody kind of criticizes Apple, or at least they were criticizing Apple for not being AI forward. Now they're kind of saying, hey, maybe they were prescient because they don't have all this debt. They're still focusing on what works for them. But one thing that nobody's really looked into that I've seen is Apple using these tools to create their software? Because I've noticed, at least, I haven't used Mac OS in a long time, but I've noticed with my iPhone that I've just, things just seem to be doing stuff that would never have happened before. Like, just little weird things here and there, like it just getting a little sloppy. And I'm wondering if there is an aspect there. And the fact that nobody's talking about, how much Apple has embraced these tools internally is an interesting idea.
I mean, it's just what we're seeing is just enshittification being put into hyperdrive. And the thing is enshittification, classical enshittification was just a means to extract money from you slowly, or extract money from somebody using you as the product. It was always one or the other. And what it ended up being was a degradation in the overall experience of a product. But now enshittification is becoming, how little effort can we possibly put into the product and not have people bitching at us and have it still be functional, right? And so what you're getting with that is a lot of corner cutting and a lack of craftsmanship. And ultimately, the enshittification isn't that, oh, someone's making money. It's more or less that, oh, someone is, creating a narrative, and I am the victim of that, because now I have to, with the things that I've come to rely on over the years, they are now becoming increasingly more unreliable. And what's interesting though is it could lead to a world where alternatives have a chance again to these people who have monopolized a lot of spaces. Think about spreadsheets, right? I'm pretty sure Excel is dog shit now.
It
Maybe
is.
Google's,
I can confirm.
Google, I would say Google Sheets could make a comeback, but the problem with that is that you click on a cell in Google Sheets and it's like, you want my AI to summarize this for you? I'm like, I'm looking at dollar signs right now. Like, there's nothing to summarize. So they're probably not
I
going to be
will
it, but maybe
say,
Apache.
Google's Office products are even more dog shit than Microsoft's. But also, I think it's really really hard, I think, to get widespread adoption for the Google Office products because it is browser based. And yes, with the browser based stuff, you get better collaboration, which younger kids who do everything on Chrome or whatever browser that they're using, they feel very comfortable with that and they like that collaborative aspect. But when you just need to create something that is crisp and precise and essentially perfect, which younger people are not super focused on, right? They just want to get most of the way there and ship the shit. You can't do that with the Google products. They're just not as feature rich, and they kind of suck. In my experience, I've used them all, and I don't like it. And now Microsoft kind of they actually have browser versions as well of their products, which really the only reason you'd want to use the browser version is collaboration, but there's not a ton of actual collaboration you need to do. It's just a really bizarre idea that these documents need to be collaborative. So I don't really understand a lot of that push.
Yeah, have you tried Apache OpenOffice?
I have not.
It's actually decent, especially for being free. So, and it can look at XLS documents too. So, easily.
I've heard a lot of things about LibreOffice, mostly mixed, which is why I haven't messed with that. But I haven't heard about Apache OpenOffice.
What are you guys talking about?
We're talking about
various
AI.
Office products.
We're talking about AI. But now that you're here, Girk, I want to do a pop quiz. Okay.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, I would love to.
I'm all ears.
Because I don't want Girk to fall
hold on
asleep
before
on the
you do your
podcast.
pop quiz.
Okay.
Do we have to kick Ron off? Ron has been taking your place, and he's been doing an okay job.
I think we basically programmed the podcasting software to make Ron not visible as soon as Girk is visible, because we can never have them be seen in the same room together.
Who wants to be in the same room as Ron?
Thanks,
not
Ron.
me. Fuck.
He even
Sounds
admitted
dreadful.
before we got on that he was shirtless because he was so sweaty.
Yeah.
And he threw on a shirt for the podcast.
Much to my chagrin.
I'm assuming
to see
on top of all of the sweat.
Okay, pop quiz.
Anyway, okay. Oh yeah, do your pop quiz, and then I have one more thing to talk about AI. Then we can move on to
wrap
oil,
up your AI shit because I want to segue into something that I know Gert's going to want to talk about.
Well, okay. Last thing though, Ken Griffin, great old Kenny. He's done a 180. He's seen the light on AI.
Oh yeah,
has he?
AI now automating PhD level work. Extraordinarily high skilled jobs, not just boosting productivity for routine work. There has been a step change function in the productivity of the AI toolkit. To be blunt, work that we would usually do with people with masters and PhDs in finance over the course of weeks or months is being done by agents over the course of hours or days.
Sounds like he's doing a Bill Ackman.
He said he even went home one Friday. It was just one Friday.
Yeah.
He says specifically, I went
was
home
he mugged
one
on the
Friday.
Way to that house?
I don't know, but it was one Friday where he was actually fairly depressed because you could just see how this was going to have such a dramatic impact on society. It was just one Friday, but he felt that way.
I think the breaking news is that he actually went home.
How long is Ken Griffin on the AI trade right now?
Probably very.
What has possibly changed in the last 3 months since his last 13F filing?
He's in on the SpaceX IPO, probably. That's my guess.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought everybody's talking about that today on the interwebs, X the Everything app, and other places.
Gotta love it. Okay. So pop quiz. I posted a chart.
All yours.
And Girk, I don't want you to spoil what it is. I just want you to look at it and tell me if this is bullish or bearish.
Okay. Where's the chart?
It's in our chat.
It's weird because it's
completely unlabeled.
And no labels. You don't get to know what it is.
That's bullish.
Yeah? What do you think, JFresh? Bullish? I know it's TA.
Hold on. Is this a thing where it going up would mean indexes coming down?
Or he took something and flipped it. Right?
I didn't flip anything. Promise.
It looks like it's gonna. I don't want to call it bullish or bearish. I'm gonna say it looks like it's gonna go up.
Yeah. Is this Sox S?
Is this the 10-year yield?
God damn it, Girk. Yes, this is the fucking 10-year yield. Okay.
Just for our viewers' information, the 10-year yield going up is not bullish.
Yeah, the chart itself looks like it looks like it's like in some sort of wedge that's going to break out. But I think this is the bond market kind of flashing a warning sign, don't you think, about, this whole Iran bullshit and everything like that, oil actually costing money.
Well,
I think we're kind of at a tipping point.
Unlike the equity market that can ignore, month over month, like 1.4% increases in PPI, the bond market does not have that luxury. The bond market has to be very, very afraid of inflation because their yields are smaller. I think you're right, obviously. We're just getting to a point where the bond market can no longer ignore the economic impact of oil prices.
Yeah. So, I mean, sure, it's another week of the same shit in terms of, Jared Kushner being put back on that fucking plane and flown back to wherever the fuck they're doing their negotiations.
Kushner goes to Pakistan.
I wonder if it'd be like a good investment for us to just get him like some sort of shuttle,
Yeah, maybe a nice neck pillow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So in any case, oil's still expensive.
Maybe,
the bond market's not ignoring it. I just thought that was interesting.
Nuts.
Yeah, no, bonds
for the airport.
Bonds at the top end have been moving up. I mean, partially due to inflation, right? But no, we've been seeing this effect for a little bit longer than that. And you know, did you hear like Moran's statements about, you know, trying to get rid of the multipolar Fed mandate and just, you know, just focus on inflation and not labor? And wanting to pull back restrictions, of course, on bank depository requirements.
The
Oh,
lovely
Jesus.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, you know
what we
why,
should do?
right? Because yields are going to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got to pave the path for that to be a bit easier on the banks before they go boom. But yeah, I
Yeah, well,
mean, the
Here's
10-year
the
above
problem with that,
5%
though,
still
to
like
me.
blows up a lot of their like hold to maturity
It
portfolio.
blows up a lot of the stuff that they already own, but if we were able to just assume that they didn't have a hold to maturity mark to market risk, higher rates are good for banks.
Generally.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so
If only they weren't sitting on, you know, fucking a cumulative like $500 billion worth of dead bonds that they've leveraged into yen.
yeah, the hold to
yeah,
maturity bomb.
but
Yeah.
that's, I mean, that's a mistake of the Fed, right? That's a decade-old policy error on their part.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think the Fed. I don't really see a good reason for the Fed to even have control over rates, other than to juice capital at the expense of labor.
Yeah.
Yes, that's their only tool.
I mean, I
That's
still
not
haven't
true. The
gotten over the
Fed's full
fact
of
that,
tools.
well, the
Okay.
Fed. So there's a couple things that I saw that could have been impactful for why the 10-year and the 20 and the 30-year are getting a little stressed at the end of this week. The first was the Fed. I think the New York Fed announced sometime in the latter half of this week that they're going to reduce their buying from 40 billion a month to 10.
Ouch.
I need to confirm that. Maybe Ron, now that Ron's shirtless again, he can look up. I think it was the New York Fed, Ron. If you want to take a look, I saw something about that. We've also seen things that, to me, look like interventions from Japan in the currency market over this week, and their rates have also been going up, which is going to put
Did you see
pressure.
their fucking CPI?
Yeah, and their CPI,
That's up like
that's
800%.
I mean, that was the thing that probably most closely aligned with the reversal of the equity market and the big juice in bonds coming up.
Yeah.
Was that Japanese CPI print that happened overnight?
It was nasty.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that could go into this, but I still just can't get over the fact that the Fed basically propped up the banks to the tune of on around 400 to 500 billion dollars over the last 5 months or so, 5 or 6 months. And that was basically, like, if you just add up all, like, the GSIB buybacks over the last 2 years, like $500 billion. So literally, the Fed is propping up them taking their reserve money and giving it to themselves. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Well,
I see it as being part of the same transaction, just separated in enough in space and time that nobody really connects those dots so explicitly.
Well, Warsh said that you know, he wanted to reduce the, you know, the overall balance sheet at the Fed. And the only way to do that is to put more pressure on bank reserves. And these and the ironic thing about this is these are already banks that 4 months ago didn't want to buy the front end at all.
Yeah, I think people forget that. I mean, one of the reasons that the Fed was buying was because all these banks are basically hitting their minimums on their supplemental leverage ratio. And right, the rates started lifting off the front end. Which is exactly what I said like 2 years ago. It was like if they start cutting rates and everybody needs these rates to survive, right? They're going to have to start buying the front end, and that's exactly what they started doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's an interesting situation because everyone kind of expects Moran to cut, or not Moran, Marsh, sorry. Moran left, by the way. He's gone. I don't have to
Yeah,
deal with
he's
that
out.
fucking
Yeah.
idiot anymore.
Fuck him.
Sorry, Trump stool pigeons. I have a hard time getting their names right in my head.
I'm sure he just missed Finchwit.
They're all just the same
on
fucking
X, the
moron
everything
to
app.
me.
He wants to come back and.
But Warsh is pushing. He's pushing this policy change. A lot of people expect him to cut rates by like 75 points to 100 points by like September. I think I showed you guys last week like the list of bank expectations. That's being priced in to Fed fund futures. Like that Warsh is going to come in. He's going to do what Trump wants. He's going to cut that front end down to nothing. And the last time they did that, there were no fucking buyers. And so I suspect if he does that again with rising inflation, and I mean, it could actually, and especially now that you're telling me they're going to reduce their buybacks, which has been the only thing that's kept that spread stable since the start of 2026. So if he's going to get rid of the rollover, and he's gonna cut rates at the front, we're gonna go right back into that liquidity crunch, but at 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, and I actually have a chart that sort of, I guess, suggests that might be what's happening. And this is one of Jay Fresh's favorite charts. This is the penultimate squiggle chart, and it shows all of the U.S. Treasury yields relative to the federal funds rate. And it shows that, at the very tippy top, you have this green line, then you have the purple line, and then the light purple and salmon.
Yeah, I'm pretty
blue.
sure it's those little lines at the bottom going over zero that are the scary part.
Yeah, that's the short end.
Yeah, I know.
So those are the shortest. That's the shortest end, and then you have the long end up top. But you notice that you're getting this sort of like up tilt in it. So I think that it is some sort of it's almost like a perfect storm of sorts. If this is what's happening, they're reducing their buybacks, and we have this Iran stuff going on, and we have Japan's god awful economic prints happening. I mean, it just seems like there's probably a little bit of chaos going on. So that'll be interesting to watch pan out over 30 days.
Yeah, hold on, guys. I'm trying to look. I want to make sure I can find this. I found a Bloomberg article that says the Federal Reserve said Wednesday it will buy about 10 billion of Treasury bills this period, a further slowdown of a program meant to ease short-term funding costs by rebuilding reserves in the financial system. The New York Fed's open markets desk plans to conduct the reserve management purchases over the monthly period ending June 11th. It also plans to conduct about $16.3 billion in reinvestment purchases over the same time. The latest reduction marks a 75% pullback over a 2-month span, signaling the Fed is confident in the smooth functioning funding markets.
Okay. Bold move, Cotton.
Yeah, that's great for them until the standing repo facility
paid for
gets
all the
blown
buybacks
the fuck up again.
Yeah. But I don't really understand. It seems like all the stuff coming out about Warsh and what his plans might be, they're disjointed, right? They don't all make sense together. If he wants to reduce the balance sheet, rates are going to go up. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how he's going to simultaneously reduce rates and reduce the balance sheet. It seems like that is not possible.
Jfresh,
Another thing.
Let me posit this before you move on.
Are you about? Am I about to get Epsteined?
No, that was it.
No, just shush.
Yeah, right. Or else what?
It wasn't a
snorkeling
threat.
trip.
You're saying too much of the quiet part out loud.
It's just the implication of a threat. I see. The other thing about Warsh that I think is interesting that I haven't heard a ton of, I'm not even sure how to interpret this or what to make of it, but he wants to use the trimmed mean PCE measure.
Yeah, which is just the lowest PCE measure.
Right. It's just basically there's a fat tail to the upside.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's a lot of smaller weighted items are very expensive and they're going up very rapidly. And he wants to chop off that fat tail to try to get the mean, I assume, closer to the median.
I mean, yeah, I also believe the he wanted to use the longer run trimmed mean as well. Like instead of 1 or 3 year look back, you want to use 5.
I mean, yeah, all of this just seems like it would make the Fed slower to react to issues.
Or just non-reactionary.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, what he actually wants.
Why are you saying the quiet part out loud?
In the sense of,
because the whole purpose of this administration is to get rid of the Fed. Like all their actions against the Fed have been to undermine the power of the Fed and to bring it in line with the rest of the central government because the Fed is independent, which, not only does Trump personally fucking hate, but there's a huge amount of interest in getting rid of our central bank. And now you have JPM and all of these guys moving into stable coins, which is how they're going to try to replace the Fed. It will fail. Don't get me wrong. It's the stupidest fucking idea ever, but they're committed to it. And we've got them opening up these stable coin funds and moving that money there. And it's because they are going to basically cut the dick off the Fed.
And the balls?
No, just the dick. Just the dick part. The Fed never had
that was
any
an
balls.
SNL sketch like last night, right?
What?
Just the dick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Will Ferrell was the host. You should. It's a good one.
I haven't watched SNL since I was 6 years old.
You're such an edgelord. I was watching adult TV late night when I was 6.
You mean trying to get the Spice Channel to work?
Oh, God. Oh.
Good
I'm
Lord.
not being an edgelord. I just really haven't watched SNL in 30 odd years.
All right. Do you have, Girk, I'll give you this opportunity. Do you have anything you want to say about Iran and oil so we can get out of the way?
No.
Good.
Shit.
Thank God.
Wait, hold on. Shit's fucked, yo.
Excellent.
Fair enough. See you in 2 weeks.
I've pontificated on it so much at this point, and nothing's changed. It's just a big shit show. Oil's up. It's not changing, and it's gone on long enough now that it's going to have permanent reverberations in our economy. So here's a fun thing though that I think is tied to oil. I think oil's fucked the economy so hard that people like Ken Griffin are coming out now in support of AI because they're going to need something to explain why the market's fucking crashing without admitting that they over leveraged everybody's money and blew the fuck up again, just like they did in 2008. And so they're going to use AI getting rid of all the jobs that it doesn't actually fucking replace as their big excuse as to why everything. Oh, it's like, oh, look, the economy blew up. Oh, our leverage. Oh, no. But like in reality, you know, the only reason tech workers are losing their fucking jobs is not because of AI. It's because the companies are spending so much money building fucking data centers that they can't actually afford to employ anybody anymore.
Did you just rant about AI? I love this.
A little
Should
bit.
we
Sorry.
continue? Should
Sorry,
we do
you got
two
me.
AI?
You got me worked up.
Well, okay. Help me connect these dots then, because Ron actually found us something else to fucking talk about.
Holy shit.
And that is electric vehicle demand in the US. And I think the thing that sparked it off was that Honda posts its first ever annual loss nearly 70 years as this electric vehicle bet backfires. And there's other issues like EV charging pushes around the country are stalling.
Yeah, because you used to get $7,500 off of a $60,000 car.
Well, yeah.
And now you get nothing off a $60,000 car. But
is that all that is?
the inventories are sitting there, you know, financed from the manufacturers by dealerships. And so dealerships are selling the fucking cars for nothing or at a loss because they can't continue to accrue interest on the inventory that's sitting on their lot. And then when the financials are coming back from the manufacturers, you're seeing that hit them. But oil prices going up is probably great for electric cars, used ones. People are going to be buying the shit out of used electric cars, which is good for the charging infrastructure.
Yeah, so I will say, we were talking a little bit earlier about how, young kids tend to be forward looking and what kinds of technologies are going to take hold later. And so, they really like, for example, like the Google Docs stuff. And I don't get it, but they like it. So I have to accept that it's probably going to catch on. But young kids also, especially like, at least from what I can see from my vantage point, like engineering students and things, they love electric vehicles because they are just actually better. They have better performance. They're easier to build. They have interesting challenges that haven't already been solved over 100 years by a mature industry. And so the kids love them. They're better, right? From just a objective engineering perspective, they function better at this point than conventional ICE vehicles. And I can't help but wonder, like, how are we fumbling this so badly?
It's really simple.
It is.
Oh, sorry. Do you want me to
continue?
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, because all of these manufacturers are bloating the cost of the cars with their cost to modify infrastructure to manufacture them. And until those corporations are willing to eat that and manufacture for the cars at what they should be worth, which is drastically less than what it costs to manufacture an ICE vehicle, right? You have none of the components. You don't have to individually manage, the parts. You can put the same fucking motor in every single wheel of every single car you make, right? All you have to do is change the battery size. So your entire parts infrastructure that fuels the automotive industry behind the scenes is basically non-existent now, right? Like there's so much cost saving on the manufacturing side. The biggest cost is shifting over to electric vehicles. Like I have an electric vehicle, and it comes with a maintenance schedule.
And what is that? Like, take it in
It's
10
like every
years
like 5,000 miles, go into the dealership, give them some money, and they're going to take your car, drive it into the bay, and then drive it back out of the bay, and that's it. Because you don't actually need to fucking do anything. The regenerative brakes last 100,000 miles plus before they need pads. The motors go forever. The batteries are good for 10 years. So all of this built-in obsolescence that existed in the automotive industry, they're now trying to price into the upfront cost of purchasing an electric vehicle. But these cars are like fucking cell phones with electric motors attached to them, right? And you can literally, China's already proving, look, we can make thousands of them with bigger batteries and better charge times for, $12,000 a pop. Meanwhile, in America, you're looking at a $65,000 price tag to get in at like a fucking entry model electric vehicle. So as soon as American car manufacturers are willing to bite the bullet, move over their supply lines and move over their manufacturing bases, then, we'll get cheaper electric cars and everybody will start using them. But until then, they're going to push back and they're going to be like, "Oh, I can't make my $600 drive out to my ranch in my Cyber truck, so I need to buy, like a King Ranch F550." But it's a lot harder to make that fucking argument when diesel's $9 a gallon.
You know where all the King Ranches are in my town any given weekend?
No.
The golf course?
At the HEB.
I don't even know what that is.
They're just grocery shopping.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Gotta love it.
I call them glamour trucks.
Yeah. There's all kinds of names for them.
They're cleaner
all
than my
increasingly
van.
more derogatory than the last.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at. I mean, it's just like we've got to get the prices down on them because the consumer is aware.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, right, I did mention they're easier to build, right? So, I mean, the students love it because funding to build their, Formula One cars and things is always at a premium. And so easier to build, fewer moving parts, etc., less maintenance, fewer fluids to deal with, all that stuff. Yeah, you would expect it to be simpler. Really you're just buying a battery, right? And a bunch of plastic and some other stuff. But
I mean, even that to that end too, it's just a shit ton of 18650 model batteries all stuck in a huge array. I mean, like,
yeah.
they're
But
incredibly cheap.
Do we think is there something to the fact that we tried to compete with China on solar and lost? That maybe we don't have the will.
But we have
to compete with them
we have like a split narrative, right? Instead of advancing technologically, we have like this whole subset of society that wants to live in like some reversionist world where we have, $1 a gallon gas and, wives can't vote, and but the mindset is universal. Like people want to return to the 1940s or 50s, and they want to drive their fucking Packard that gets 3 miles per gallon out to their land that they bought for $10,000. It's just not realistic. Meanwhile, China's just been like, oh well, this is emergent technology. This is better than the infrastructure we have, so let's use it. And they don't really have the problem of democracy that we do. It's very pesky, and it gets in the way of progress.
Yeah, I mean,
you
could tell that the competition never started because they just immediately outlawed those cars from being imported.
Yeah. I mean, that was like the first thing. It was like, oh, you can't have a fucking BYD. Might not be safe. Meanwhile, we have Teslas driving at 120 miles an hour into the back of a semi.
Yeah, those apparently there's a new report that came out recently about the Cybercab, and things are not going well.
No shit.
I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, not very safe. And those are actually remote operated, teleoperated, semi teleoperated. I don't really know.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen traffic in India?
Okay, that I don't know if I want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't think we're going there. Hard pivot. I mean, I will just say in general, I shit on AI and things a lot. because I do think that this focus on intelligent software is a fantasy. But one thing that I have noticed, especially in us just discussing the merits of electric vehicles, hardware in general, that is an actual renaissance, I think, right now. People are doing some incredible things in very short amounts of time and putting a lot of effort into improving hardware for everything, whether it be computing or robotics or power machinery, electric vehicles, you name it. Like, hardware is quite exciting to me, at least, as somebody
Well,
who's
it
in that
would be.
world. Is that a sex joke or is that a nerd joke?
Both.
Ah,
It's a
the worst
sexy nerd
kind.
joke.
Anyway, yeah, to me, I see all of this hardware stuff come out. I'm actually like, wow, this is cool. Like, I saw the other day, some people found a way to use some non-mechanical pumping mechanism with an ionic fluid to achieve soft actuators that essentially match the performance of a human arm, like a bicep, which is very difficult to do, especially and I didn't look into the details, but I'm pretty sure it's low voltage, which is the whole point of the ionic fluid. Super cool. Nobody gives a shit because it's not intelligent, it's not AI, but that could actually be a transformative technology in a lot of places. No moving parts, very high power density, very high range of motion. Nobody cares, right? And it's just we're so myopic on this one thing when there's so many other cool things that are happening.
Just you wait, Jay Fresh. It'll get bastardized and put into a humanoid robot.
Yeah, well, the worst of all outcomes is going to happen, right? We're going to have another resurgence of soft robotics. That already went through a whole thing. I don't know that it ever broke containment from academia out into the general public. There was like a whole soft robotics phase where people were making all sorts of ridiculous, funny looking Jello robots that flopped around in funny ways. And
wait, we gotta get Ron to look up the vocal cord robot that was like,
yeah, it made for some great. It made for some great videos and academic presentations, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure if we ever go back to another hype cycle in soft robots, because even then, my whole thing was back then talking to soft robots people. I was like, okay, this is really neat, and I agree, your idea is clever, but what's it for? What are we supposed to be doing with this? And the whole soft robot thing never made sense, but the actuators themselves were, I mean, if you just were creative and thought, where else could I use this in like a manufacturing line and things like that, could be really interesting. But
I mean, well, the ultimate goal is for there to be a robo-vag, right? Because nerds fuck too, and they want to fuck their creation, ultimately.
That's why Elon's making robots.
Yeah. I mean,
let me tell you, he's really tired of women divorcing him.
Yeah.
You missed it, Kirk, but earlier we were talking about how Elon was previously dating Amber Heard.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, how many years until Elon engineers an Optimus robot with the ability to take a shit in your bed?
You think he's into that? I thought he just had a breeding fetish.
Dude, I don't know.
A little bit of both.
Who knows? Who knows, right? All right. We got a lot to talk about coming up. We got one thing happening this week, which is actually the only important thing.
That's right.
Earnings.
Oh,
the S&P 500 has earnings this week.
Oh, is it NVIDIA week?
Yep.
Well, there's nothing to talk about with earnings then.
Yeah. NVIDIA
sure, there's all this like
publishes their
and
earnings on Wednesday.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's earnings for this week. NVIDIA.
Which might be the same day that Elon gets his disclosure out for his SpaceX IPO.
Have we thought about what's going to happen if NVIDIA earnings in any way do not support let's call it enthusiasm the market has experienced over the last 6 weeks?
Let me answer your question with a question.
Yes, that's the best way to answer questions.
Do you think that this is the quarter that NVIDIA misses when Jensen Huang has ordered his private charity to purchase $100 million worth of compute from CoreWeave and other people?
Oh my God,
to just give
what a
away.
great way to give yourself a tax break and make a profit.
Right.
That's genius.
Do you think he would do that if he didn't think that he couldn't use that $100 million to get to that beat that he was looking for, to just top off that last 0.1%?
Let me just ask this. What's the profit margin? I'm going to answer your question with another question.
Whoa. You cannot triple stamp with double stamp.
Actually, I can. The USA blockaded Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, so I definitely can do this.
Yeah, but did anybody blockade the blockade of the blockade? No.
Not yet.
Wait, yes, we did. That's what Operation Freedom was. It was the blockade of the blockade that wasn't blockading the blockade. It lasted from May 6th to May 7th before it was removed.
Ask your question.
Okay. How much has the price of GDDR6, right, RAM gone up in the last 3 quarters?
Oh, you think their profit margins are going to go down?
Yeah, well, I'm getting, God damn it.
Sorry.
Whatever.
Oh, wait. I just answered your question with a question.
You did. This is beautiful.
Didn't even mean to.
What if we never make a statement again?
Wait.
Are you saying we're only going to ask questions and never say anything
another question as an answer to my question?
No, Dork, did you just actually make a real statement?
Are we really doing this?
What do you think I did?
I think we might be, but I'm not entirely sure. You can...
This
is going to be harder than I thought, actually.
That's what she said.
God damn it.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about NVIDIA earnings? I mean, it seems like they're going to beat and raise and everything's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm also looking at Home Depot.
Wait, hold on. Wait, no, because the cost of... So if we look at the profit margins on H200s, they must have come down. There's no way they couldn't have come down.
H200s?
Or whatever the fuck they're making. I don't know.
They're on Blackwell, baby. They're doing Vera Rubins now, but everybody's on the
Has the
GBs.
Cost to manufacture a 590 Ti and staple it to like 5 other 590 Ti's increase or decrease?
It's probably gone up.
I mean, every part of the supply chain and manufacturing those chips has increased in price astronomically, especially when you consider, RAM and the chipboards and the fucking the little what are the little metal things? Transistors. The transistors have gone up in price. Like everything on the fucking card has gone up in price, but NVIDIA's gonna pitch to us that they're making the same amount of money they were making off of these chips in 2023, 2024. Bullshit. It's got to be bullshit. Look at the price of Micron. Micron can't be worth as much money as Micron is currently worth if NVIDIA's profit margins are the same.
Andy Constant's going around making the same argument on X and other places, saying that he thinks we're in an earnings bubble now because there's not enough earnings for everybody to actually get the earnings that are being projected.
It's because nobody's fucking reporting their actual earnings. They're all reporting like this fucking idea of what their earnings are going to look like after all these orders go through that they've self-fucking financed.
Yeah. It's balance sheet crime for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of balance sheet crime, and then also a lot of just speculative bullshit. And I'm just I'll try to ignore all that. The price of the inputs has gone up.
Okay, but okay, I get it, Girk, but let's put a few things together that I think can all agree are probably true.
Okay.
Price of inputs has gone up, yes, but
dramatically.
We've got to get our bag holder friends exit liquidity. So we've got to limp along to these IPOs. We've got XAI coming up. We've got probably Anthropic shortly thereafter, and then OpenAI if they, who knows. But we got to give them a shot.
The entire market is built on how much these publicly traded companies want to bail out their private equity buddies.
Yes.
So how bad do you think things need to get for that relationship, for them to go, fuck that relationship, burn it to the ground, I want my money, get it out?
Well, I mean, there's a shot at nobody having to deal with that, right? It becomes our problem.
No, only if the government steps in.
I mean, look at like Cerberus. Cerberus just recently IPO'd.
Yeah,
at $180.
Wait, who was it that IPO'd for like $300 the other day, and they just like immediately tanked $40?
Cerberus IPO'd at 180.
Was that like CBRS or whatever?
Yeah, okay. And then they immediately started trading like in the like $360 or something like that. It was basically doubled from the initial IPO value. So then everybody that did it 180 got the fuck out, and it started tanking. But it's still way up from 180. So there's still a shot at dumping these bags. And do you really think that Beat and Raise, the man who started all this, is gonna fuck all those people if he has a chance of keeping this thing going?
Last earnings, he projected $1 trillion in revenue for like 2027, right? So, I mean, how does he go harder? So last earnings, he projected $1 trillion in revenue for 2027, right? And this quarter, costs are up 80%.
Well, that doesn't affect revenue. That affects profit margin.
It does affect revenue. Because these are costs that he has to make the product that he sells.
Yeah, it affects profit.
Yeah.
Well, it also affects revenue because you know what he's going to do? And it's going to make everybody sad is he's going to have to raise prices.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, do all the hyperscalers just crash if Jensen raises prices?
Depends on how much, but maybe
20% bump. That's like what at the current like debt. Well, like the current amount of debt they need that would bump us from like 7 trillion to 8.4 trillion.
Yeah, and then the new magic number. You know how right now I think it's 200 billion that everyone passes around for their LOIs and their deals and stuff. It's going to go to like 300 billion. And then we can keep sputtering along for a little bit longer while we just throw giant numbers around that don't make any sense. Just pass them in between each of the companies, you know, like hot potato.
Yeah, and I want to put so everybody talks about how wildly popular these things are and how much everybody is using these products and how much money they're pouring into it. I want to provide a little bit of perspective. The guy who made OpenClaw, you remember this? OpenClaw was basically like some sort of weird agent.
It's a virus.
Well, it is. Yeah, sure. If you want to be, yes. But it was basically a harness to create agents that you then could deploy to do things, right? And it was open source or whatever. But anyway, the whole thing is that it was a vibe coded thing. You know, OpenClaw was made using vibe coding with Claude, or maybe it was, I don't remember which one, but OpenClaw was bought by OpenAI. And he works there now. And he recently posted something online showing that his token usage was $1.3 million in 1 month, which is 1/2000th of the stated annual recurring revenue of that company. One person.
I have like a little story here that kind of lines up with this. You know, you guys know that occasionally I make songs, financial beats for for those interested. And I write the lyrics because AI is just incapable of writing any lyrics that make any sense. And then I try to like build the song in Sono, and Sono's giving you a bunch of tools to kind of like, you know, you just keep making the same section over and over and over again until you get like something you like, and then you stick with that. And the number of iterations it takes to make like a decent sounding song is thousands. And I thought to myself, man, if I knew how to play an instrument, I could have written the song in like a day. And instead, I've reiterated this thing like 4,000 times through AI to get something that wasn't even what I actually wanted, but sounds okay.
Yeah, you don't even have to play an instrument. You just have to know how to use good mixing software.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I actually like usually put it in like Fruity Loops or something and like edit it from there. But it is just a massive waste of time. It is not improving, and anybody making anything novel is not improving their productivity with this stuff. And this guy seems like a great fucking example. He's spending $1.3 million a month vibe coding. Like, if he just knew how to fucking program.
Do you know what he was so proud of that
how
he
much
was
is a
showing
degree in software engineering? Like, he could have paid for 20 of those.
Do you know what he was showing off as what he was so proud of as the result of his $1.3 million?
What?
Just a I don't even know what to call it.
Just a thing that already existed before
graphs
somewhere else, because that's the only thing AI can make.
It was just like a page with graphs on it of something that he was graphing.
Nice.
A dashboard of some
analytics?
kind. He made a dashboard. Yeah.
Nice. How long did it take us to make a dashboard?
That's a sore subject.
Well, I mean the actual making of it, not the arguing about it.
The man hours, not the time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely didn't cost us $1.3 million.
No. Yeah. It wouldn't. You could hire a software engineer and it wouldn't cost you $1.3 million to have him make that, like, from a month of their salary.
You could hire fucking 10 software engineers and it would cost you $1.3 million to make that.
You could spend so little money making that same exact dashboard. It's insane that he's flouting how inefficient he is. Like, it's incredible.
It's the future. You're gonna get left behind.
Apparently.
Yeah, no, this is new age productivity. We just got to figure out how to measure it right.
I just want you to know that it feels a lot like a guy on an exercise bike trying to win a race.
Oh my God, guys, I don't know how I didn't put this together earlier, because I've been calling this, religious fanaticism for a long time. This is their rapture. AI is the rapture. You need to get on the AI train or you're going to get left behind.
I have been waiting for rapture for so long and it never happens. And I don't want to go to heaven. I just want to stay here in purgatory.
The worst part about the rapture is when you end up getting raptured anyways, because you're not a piece of shit. I mean, you are kind of a piece of shit, but
yeah. So I feel like I've done enough to get into purgatory.
Hey, but you're our piece of shit.
Thanks.
Yeah, you'll get dragged into heaven kicking and screaming, Girk.
Yeah, honestly, that would be my fucking luck.
And you're just like saying the Lord's name in vain over and over again, thinking that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Turns out God's actually just a chill dude.
God's just gonna be like, you told people not to DRS their shares. Get in here.
All right. You can sit right next to Ratio at Blessings at Sunday brunch. I love it. 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks in a row. I've got that in there. Ratio,
yeah,
if you're
you've really
listening.
been pushing that one a lot. I'm proud of you.
Ratio, if you're listening, come on the show.
Yeah.
Wait, can we talk to Ben Eifert? Didn't he blow up his vol fund?
He did blow up his fund.
You think he'd come on here for like $12?
I don't know. I know he was somehow short OpenAI. I wonder if that had something to do with it.
How do you short?
Never
mind.
I don't know. But he's said that many times online. I don't know. He can come on if he wants. I would just request that he wears one of his finest silk robes.
Of course.
No, man.
I wonder if we could get
last.
all the weirdly dressed Wall Street circus to come on here.
Like, you talking about what's his face? Dan Ives?
You know what's crazy is I've not blown up.
Yeah.
Still here. Me and Michael Burry, we're going to be the last two traders alive.
After the rapture?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the rest of them are clearly getting into heaven.
Right.
I think we'd have to be a much bigger podcast to start getting people on here, because I can't see us not asking really pointed, really critical questions of everything that anybody would say.
I think we could get Burry on here. We just have to tell him that we have one viewer.
Ooh. who already has a Substack account and a credit card.
No, I think we just tell him that we have one viewer and he's questioning whether to get vaccinated or not.
Okay. I didn't know he was an anti-vaxxer.
He went off the deep end during COVID. I'm not actually sure what he's anti, but it seemed like everything at the time.
I don't think he's sure what he's anti either.
No. His social skills are lacking.
All right. Do we want to move on to the calendar?
Calendar it up. I mean, what do we got? Not a ton.
Is there anything fun this week? There was like one thing.
I mean, we already talked about last week.
Last week was fun.
Important stuff. Yeah. I'm looking this week.
Japanese GDP?
Yeah, that could be interesting on Monday.
Great Britain inflation.
I mean, the minutes are coming out. We get to look at the dot plot.
That was the narrative on Friday with the sell-off.
Japanese inflation?
We get FOMC minutes this week. No, the foreign central banks are going to have to start hiking again, regardless of whether the U.S. does or not.
Yeah. Dude, everything that's coming out of the UK looks like complete dog shit. I don't know what's going on over there, but it ain't looking so hot.
Starmer's not doing a great job, apparently. But he did send a boat to Iran. Maybe.
Oh.
It's not there yet, but it's on its way.
Oh, okay.
Remember when the market
Boats in the mail?
The market rallied like 1.5% on the news that
Britain
had invested the cost of one boat into opening up the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. Good times. Yeah, I don't know. The minutes are going to be kind of interesting, but...
Yeah, I think we should just keep going. Ron, commercial time.
Why so long, producer Ron?
I'm only playing Leaps because I learned my lesson on zero DTEs. But all my money is tied up on a handful of trades.
Why not use Gammastrike?
That's too complicated. It's accurate, but I'm not a genius. I can't figure that out.
Nah, you'll learn it. They've got a great docs page, and there's a roundtable videos section that will break it all down for you.
No kidding. I'll have to check it out and maybe stop going so long on everything. Thanks, Dork.
Don't thank me. Thank Team Gammastrike.
Well, hey there. Producer Ron here. We've been doing this podcast here for a little while now and found out something alarming. The algorithm says that we're not seeing quite enough engagement for an audience of our size. So I'm going to make this real clear. If you haven't already, go find that like and subscribe button. And don't just smash it. Annihilate it with your awesomeness to show your support. Okay there. Now we can get back to the show. Thanks.
It's terrifying. All right. Thanks, Ron, for making all of these commercials. I guess.
Yeah. They're top tier shillery.
All right. Well, this is the back half. So, Dork, would you like to take over? I know you like the back end.
Is Dork Daddy's little back half?
Oh man. So
I love how the audience has no idea what went on behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well yeah, I guess we can move on to trading with Gammastrike, huh? How did we end up doing, everybody?
I don't know. I feel like I must have done badly. I bought puts on something, and there's no way that could have worked out.
I did flat or up on meta, and I think I broke even
last week.
Ooh, no, I made money. Yay.
Yeah, I did good. I did well. I sold call spreads on Micron.
Does anybody know what my position was last week?
Rocket Lab. Yeah, Rocket
Ron
Lab
knows.
something rather.
What did I buy on Rocket Lab?
Looks like you just sold, or no, you bought some puts.
Is that what I did?
I think it's just some puts on Rocket Lab.
I was really not feeling it. Oh, here we go. I can't seem to find it in my my options strat. Oh no.
Well, because it was 2 puts.
I'm glad I didn't actually buy those puts.
Yeah. Well,
and this is why we always tell you guys these are for
Yeah.
entertainment purposes only. And if you want to invest, consult an investment professional.
Yeah. You know the song.
Wait, hold on. Was it up at any point?
Certainly doesn't look like it. It looks like what happened was you got absolutely boned.
How the fuck are they closed? They're I see. Yeah, looks like I did. I bought them at well, I would have theoretically bought them at 124.
So you would have made 77 cents in profit.
124.77.
Well,
no, the stock just went straight up.
Yeah, it looks like my position made about $400. My flatter up on meta. And yeah, it I don't know, as a percent of max risk, I believe it is 100% of max risk. So yeah, not bad. What about you, Jay Fresh? You and your Micron play.
Worked out great. I sold calls, made money.
Yeah, look at you. You did.
That's a tactic that actually works surprisingly often.
Well, yeah. So, what are we going to do this week? Do we know?
I think I'm going to short Rocket Lab again.
Yeah, he's going to bang your head against the wall.
Kind of feeling it. Well, I mean, like it blew out Gamma Max really hard. But now Gamma Max is like caught up and flattened out. And total Gamma's falling off pretty quickly. So I feel like I can get my money back, you know? But maybe I'll give myself a little bit more theta this time.
Yeah, that might be the play. I think I just found mine as well.
I mean, that's the first rule of trading, right? If you short it and fail, short it again.
Yeah,
I mean, winners average losers, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how did you use Gammastrike to come to this very responsible decision that is not motivated by anger or frustration at all?
It's not, because I didn't actually lose any money, because I
know.
I didn't even remember that I'd shorted Rocket Lab on this podcast the next
Right,
day.
but you forget that we know that your kryptonite is being wrong. You hate that.
I do hate being wrong. So there's a very good chance that some of this is a spite short, but those are the most profitable shorts.
The old martingale, you can't lose if you can keep playing forever.
Yeah,
just double down over and over again.
It's technically true. If I can just keep doubling down over and over again, and that's exactly what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to double down on my prior week's terrible bet.
All right. Well, it's important that we teach our listener all of these best practices in trading.
Yeah. Well, my position's pretty boring, but I already have it.
That's cool.
I went to the
I'm
V
almost
spread.
done with mine.
Okay. Well, I went to the V spread. I saw Walmart on there and I was like, Walmart exists. And so I looked at it, slightly negative VRP. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. So, fairly arbitrary, but I think that implied volatility is the correct choice here. It's really gone up a bunch. Oh, wait, they have earnings coming up, don't they? That makes sense. So anyways, I decided because, it's Walmart and things aren't looking so great for the consumer that I was going to go, well, flatter down. Because if you look at the Greeks on it, pop those up. And put them in the chatterino here. Greeks on Walmart suggest it's in a fairly supportive environment. However, delta exposure and gamma exposure are both sort of petering out. So I think that it's just going to sit here and languish for a sec and not really do much. So I went ahead and did the classic. Here we go. The classic flatter down. I think below 129 is a reasonable estimate for the end of the week. So did the usual position. And I don't expect it to crash, but I don't think Walmart's going above, 135. And if it does, then I'm out $300, right? So it's kind of the whole idea. Plus I'm trying to game the percent of max risk when I'm doing this. And let me get another chart that we'll just leave it on the final thing. So if it goes below 129, I'm above 10% on max risk. So that's exactly what I'm after here. Not too fancy. Not a ton of super deep analysis into it, but it's a off the cuff, and I think it's okay. I see Girk has decided to do this.
Yep. I'm selling calls, which is the right thing to do here. And then I'm using the credit from that to buy one overpriced put. Well, to finance part of the cost of one overpriced put.
I see. So your break even's at 110?
At expiry.
Oh, right. Well, let's just see what it is on, what is it, like May 22nd?
Wait, no, break even? Oh.
Break even on May 22nd is 121. That's way more reasonable. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we go here. Yeah. Oh, damn, dude. Yeah, this is a pretty nice position, actually.
I think
if you can actually get the put at that price.
I think the SpaceX IPO might fuck up Rocket Lab's insane valuation.
Maybe.
We get that this week. Is that as important as NVIDIA earnings?
Oh, the Wednesday prospectus day.
Yeah.
We were chatting about that before you ingratiated us with your presence, and we
Does
seem to
Tesla
think
go
it
to
is.
0?
It goes to half, and then the
Yeah.
other half goes to SpaceX.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, something like that.
So is the correct play at market open to long SpaceX, short Tesla?
I don't think they're IPOing on Wednesday. I think it's just their prospectus
No,
getting
yeah,
released.
I think they're IPOing next month still.
Oh, is it next month?
You see, I want to find out if they break the land speed record in existence by just in their sprint to get included in the S&P 500. Because we need to have 401ks holding SpaceX. We need it, guys. It's the American way. If you don't believe that, you're probably a terrorist.
Elon needs people to be holding SpaceX so he can get rid of some of his interest in it and pay for X.
Yes.
The everything app.
No, he wants to, when SpaceX needs to dilute in order to pay for the Everything app's Grok service, he can do it to somebody who isn't just him. Got to spread the love.
Ew.
Yes.
Okay, what about you, JFresh? You settle on
All
something
right.
yet, or
I had to spend a bunch of time looking up this company, and I hate it, so I'm going to short it.
Ooh.
So here's what I did.
Well, remember when I told you to short Micron last week?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's all.
I was scared.
I know.
Don't shame me for playing it profitably on paper. All right, I went
not. They
to
did go down a lot.
I went to my favorite little baby, the G-Scan.
Ooh.
And I went to the bullish consolidation list, and I just went with right off the top. And usually the ones that are right at the top tend to have be these ridiculous little penny stocks, a couple dollars. And it's like, I don't want a repeat of the AMC trade. But I clicked the one at the top anyway because I was like, ZBRA, what is that? Zebra? That's stupid. Who named their company Zebra? And the thing is trading at $259.35. And it's consolidating way over Gamma Max. And it's coming off a peak, I'm assuming, after their Q1 earnings, where Delta is starting to fall off over time.
Man, they make specialty printers for barcode labeling.
So then I was like, all right, I got to figure. So then now what I've been doing for the last 5 minutes is researching what Zebra does. And they're, of course, an AI company, but they've been around since 2021. No, 2017. And they sell chatbots.
They've been around since 1969.
No, you're looking at the wrong thing.
No, I'm not.
Zebra Technologies?
Zebra Technologies engages in the design, manufacture, and sale of automatic identification and data capture products. Its products include mobile computers, barcode scanners, radio frequency identification devices, readers, specialty printers for barcode labeling and personnel identification, real-time location systems, accessories and supplies, such as self-adhesive labels and other consumables. The software, utilities, and applications.
They must have just gone public in 2017. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have stock data for them going back to hold on. 1991.
You know what it is? I'm an idiot. Our data goes back to 2017.
They
God
were founded
damn
by Edward L. Kaplan and Gerhard Klass in 1969, and they're headquartered in Lincolnshire, Illinois.
Anyway, okay.
Illinois.
Enough of that. They're selling AI chatbots. They're selling an AI solution that helps you optimize when everyone on your employee list has their shifts. It also seems really stupid, so I'm going to short it.
Okay.
I don't know how yet, but I'm going to.
They're coming off of a multi-year low.
Classic JFresh.
Yeah, but it...
No, I love where your head's at.
Kirk's already counting his winnings from beating us both.
Are we factoring in that there is 53 million total delta on the...
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got at its max gamma point on the gamma curve, it's got 1 million.
I'm feeling like that gamma max value might not be that relevant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much wagging the tail is doing to the dog here, but you know, I think
wrong.
More power to you. We're all wrong. Let's see this OI heat map. Let's see what we got here.
All calls, bot to the upside.
Biggest position I can find has 25 OI. Oh, wait, here's only 30.
That's...
Oh, shit. Actually, there's a couple short dated things that have a bunch of OI, like the 220 strike has like 1.4 thousand calls on it. So that's kind of interesting. Okay. You got a little something going here.
Wait, hold on. I want to look at the gamma curve. Where's the
It's
top?
all stacked for fucking June. There's a little bit of OI on this thing. Okay, so there's probably some short calls going on.
It's going to $300, isn't it? Should I long this? Should I like stupid bets JFresh's position?
What are you gonna do? Like a $300 call for June?
Oh, you can't. I'll just buy like one share. That's all I need to win.
I quit.
You can't quit. I already quit earlier.
Oh man,
you guys are so rude.
Well, you went on this whole thing about how it's like shit stocks with no delta on the chain, and it's a shit stock with no delta on the chain.
All right, fine. I'm gonna sell a call spread, 270-280 for June. I'm buying a 250.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that better. How much are you getting off the spread?
It's a net debit. It's $600. Just the spread. Hold on. Let me exclude you. It's only 320 credit.
Okay.
Not great.
No, but a lot of that might be the bid ask though. It's probably more. I'm sure the bid asks are wonky.
Because it's 1,000 spread, so that's pretty low for how close it is to the money. But
Yeah.
give it a shot.
well, all
Although
right.
it's probably pretty stupid to short anything AI this week just because of Jensen Huang, Mr. Beat and Raise.
Yeah, the market literally crashed on Friday, so it's time for everyone to pile back into the dispersion trade. 1 month correlations.
How
1
many
month
times
correlations
can
at
everybody...
10.8, so nowhere to go but down.
Jesus Christ.
How many times can everybody go all in? Can't everybody only go all in once?
No, whoever wins the pot can do it again.
Yeah. If you go all in and you're right, then you can go all in again with the same
margin.
with margin. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the FINRA margin up to now?
I don't know.
2,000? Okay.
Debt balances and customer securities margins.
Oh, you mean the total?
1.304 trillion.
Trillion?
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's not a small number.
1.3 trillion debit balances and customer security margin accounts.
Holy fuck, if this gets pulled, everyone's going to lose 10 times the amount of money they started with. Ooh!
Love
Do
it.
I short the SPX this week?
I don't know.
What if it keeps going?
Will I lose money?
I mean, it's basically, so over the last year, it went from 850 billion to 1.3 trillion. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
There's been no growth anywhere.
There's been a shitload of growth in margin.
Well, yeah, besides margin. I mean,
that's all you need.
Nothing to support the leverage, just more leverage.
Yeah, that always supports the leverage, and it can
That's
last
a
forever.
frightening amount of margin.
This time is different, Gert. Calm down.
No, they're all the same. All the times are always the same.
No.
Everyone's
No, they're
always
not. This
wrong
one's
because people are stupid.
This one's different.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT if I should short the market this week.
Do I need to say it louder? AI.
Yeah, I know. I said I'd ask ChatGPT. God.
Jesus.
Can you say it a little louder?
No.
I wonder if Popcorn Trader's been doing that. I wonder if every week he asks ChatGPT to win down.
He probably does. Probably 5 times a day.
You think it answers them?
Maybe.
Hmm.
Now I want to ask ChatGPT when down and just see what it thinks the context is.
No. Questions. Come on, Dork. MC.
Yep. Let's move on to the audience questions. In case you don't know, we got little spots, links where you listen to your podcast where you can pop in, ask a question. We also make social media posts where you can go and leave a comment with your question. You can ask questions in the video here. You can ask questions wherever the heck you want, and we will likely get to them. We have a lot of questions this week, guys. Like a lot. So I am going to just pick a few, and we're going to go for it. And we're going to see how long this takes, and then we're going to pick a few more, So first one's from Discord. SaaS, software as a service, and AI. What's the sweet spot there? Both are distancing themselves from each other in the market, but AI is useless by itself. Maybe some beneficiaries and some that struggle with blending the two. What's the sweet spot with SaaS and AI?
Yeah,
AI
I think what they're
SaaS?
getting at. They
want somebody to confirm their dip buying of SaaS, which was already massively overvalued, still is.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a little bit before. That's the challenge, right? I mean, at odds, the narrative right now, which is why it's SaaS versus AI, is that AI is going to replace SaaS because everybody can just vibe code their own SaaS, which probably is bullshit. Let's go ahead and be honest. The likelihood that that is going to be true is nearly zero to me.
Yeah.
But that doesn't change the fact that SaaS is still just naturally overvalued as is, right?
Yeah, what if both just come down? Like what if there's like I guess like this has been like something that everyone's been talking about lately. And like there's this idea that people have gotten that one should be up while the other is down. And yeah, why? Why not just both down? Why not they both are fucking overvalued?
Yeah, and long term, right? I mean, they could still continue down from here because I agree they are overvalued. But long term, I mean, if you're going to try to pick winners in that area, I wouldn't try to pick any pure AI plays because it doesn't seem like those are very good at making money. But I mean, if you want to look for SaaS that actually uses machine learning and other things that, to leverage data in ways that make sense. That can be helpful. But in general, like this whole generative AI thing, I mean, it's a 0 for me. I don't understand what you would want to invest in there. I mean, there's
Also,
no
chatbots are SaaS.
Yeah, but they're right. Okay.
I mean, like ChatGPT is a software as a service tool.
I mean,
sycophancy as a service.
Yeah, well, what have you. There's still software there. I mean,
Sure.
someone's got to, But I don't know. Just be careful of markets and, more importantly, people involved in the market discussing binary outcomes between sectors. They're almost always incorrect. It's almost never a simple, like, this goes up, this goes down. Especially when you're looking like sector by sector, and even more so when you're trying to pick individual stocks in those sectors. Do not assume that predominance of AI is going to devalue software as a service. Also, don't presume that software as a service isn't already massively overvalued, even at lower valuations than it was at a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Like the
I will
market
agree
is
with
more
that.
nuanced. Do your research, do your analysis, buy companies that are, good companies, and they will increase in value over time. But do not assume that there is like some just automatic binary juxtaposition between two sectors like that. It will lose you money.
Yep. That's exactly correct.
Yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of people that are really obsessed with pair trades.
Yeah, because it's easy for people to think about. Like, oh, this is bad, this is the new thing. So the bad thing's cheap now, but is there a reason that it's cheap? I'll buy the bad thing. And that's usually like a kind of a fallacy.
Well, yeah, a real pair trade, there's a correlation behind it, but yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's arbitrage in trades, but very rarely do you see like retail investors talking about that. That's not very common. Like, remember
Right.
Johnson and Johnson and KView?
Mm-hmm.
That's a real pair trade where there's like true arbitrage in the merger. But
Yeah, you short one, long the other. That's
yeah.
what you do.
But this is not that. This is totally different. That's like a structured deal. It's an inevitability type of thing. This is just like people are speculatively longing software as a service in the hopes that software as a service will regain its prior value because AI can't make software as a service.
Well,
but that's
like,
just, I mean, like the prior valuations of SaaS were over bloated anyway. So there's no reason AI can't just come down because it can't make software, and then software as a service stays flat.
Yeah. And all I'm going to say is this:
if you ever think before you ever long SaaS, I want you to log into your corporate Workday account and spend 15 minutes uninterrupted on Workday
or Salesforce.
Yeah, or Salesforce.
Yeah, you'll want to blow your brains out. Speaking of which, they're at a 20 PE, 22. But I'm only going to say this in terms of a sweet spot.
Portfolio.
I know. So, in terms of a sweet spot between SaaS and AI, if there is such a sweet spot, then it's probably not going to be discovered by these tech giants. It's probably going to be a disruptor.
No, I would say it's probably going to be a company that doesn't spend any money on AI, yet offers AI products in order to bring in investor dollars.
That's one way to do it. But I mean, if there was ever a sweet spot where you're going to make a SaaS and it's going to have AI involved, I think that what you're seeing right now is a lot of extremely large companies spinning their wheels endlessly, and I don't think that's necessarily going to produce anything necessarily of value. So I would be on the lookout for smaller companies that do that kind of stuff, but even so, it's like companies are like restaurants, right? So, I mean, restaurants are companies, but how many restaurants survive their first 5 years in business? Not very many. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. And that's like, the Y Combinator strategy. The only reason it works is because they have enough money to just sprinkle it everywhere, and then something 100x's and they recoup their losses. So
no, the only reason why Combinator works is because we've eroded antitrust to be basically nothing, and they know that their Silicon Valley overlords will likely buy up some fraction of them to prevent any competition.
Well, yeah, but I'm not talking about the moral hazard of the existence of Y Combinator and their strategy, but that's kind of, if you're looking for something in the sweets, because that sweet spot you're talking about is kind of the holy grail
What I'm
that everybody's
saying is
after.
that Y Combinator is the mafia, and they want their cut.
It's really a consortium of investors. It's interesting. But anyways, next question's from Discord. When?
I already answered
Wait,
that last week.
wasn't the next
September.
question.
That was. Are you
No, it
looking at
wasn't.
the right thing, Kirk?
Are you looking at last week's?
No.
Are you high?
Why doesn't the podcast have a more awesome name? Oh,
That comes next. Yeah.
I see.
God damn it! You're taking my job, Kirk. Stop.
Right.
Don't read questions. Next question's from Discord. Why doesn't the podcast have a more awesome name? Like Erection Connection.
I wanted to call it Voltards, but these guys were like, you can't do that.
Yes, we were.
Little did
That had
we
to be a
know.
wet blanket
Trump,
on that one.
Trump made it legal again.
Yep.
But this was before. But we came up with the name before that. So
Yeah.
So there you go. Yeah. If you have more awesome podcast names, then throw them in, and maybe someday we will adopt one. Next question's from X, the Everything app. Do you think
Stock
producers?
Analysts.
Do you think producers will continue to try and pass this inflation to the consumers, or will there eventually be a breaking point on how much they can pass?
We're already past the
Yes.
breaking point.
Yep.
We passed it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said wind down is September, because that's when the consumer, if at the current rate of spending, that's when the consumer savings rate as a percent of disposable income goes to basically levels seen at the bottom of previous large financial events.
Well,
so that's when they will likely stop absorbing the cost, right? And then that brings about, once the producers don't have that pricing power, they're going to have to lower costs or just sell fewer things.
Trim margins.
Yeah, and you can already see it too in Girk's favorite group, the ISM, and their manufacturing PMI and that data. You can actually see that it's just all bad already. So
yeah, if there was any good avenue to pass through, you'd already be seeing a lot more of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, consumers are already overburdened by costs. Look at the consumer sentiment recently; it was the lowest ever.
Yeah, we're not exactly. No one's really stoked about what's happening right now, except for AI companies, because they're just still getting handed money.
Consumers just like to grumble nowadays, though. That's what it is. They're just grumbling.
I'm pretty stoked. I can buy puts that have more than 180 days to expiration. I can afford time.
Not all of us can do that. I can barely afford to pay attention.
You know what, Dork? If you'd bought all the fucking stocks I told you to buy over the last 5 years, you could. You son of a bitch.
Tell me them now.
It's too late.
Too late.
They're all overvalued.
You need to buy puts with more than 180 days of data.
All right. Next question's from X, the Everything app. What do you think will come first? Data centers on the moon, AI curing cancer, Trump nudes, or Jamie Dimon buying a black leather jacket to join the AI cult?
Trump nudes. Next question.
Trump nudes.
Trump nudes.
Yep.
Next question comes from Discord. Does the Gates Foundation liquidating its Microsoft holdings matter? Not really.
Yes.
Yes? Why?
It's a lot of it.
Oh, well,
Because
so?
the guy who created Microsoft and who owns a shitload of it just completely liquidated his whole position. There's no good reason.
I don't think he liquidated his position. It's the Gates Foundation liquidating their position.
If you knew anything about the Gates Foundation, you'd know that it's basically they just do whatever he says.
Yeah, I know. But I had to make the distinction.
He is the boss.
But why is it significant? It's Bill Gates. I think the dude is a little more concerned about trying to figure out a way to weasel out of this whole Epstein
He started
situation.
fucking Microsoft. There's no bigger vote of confidence than him continuing to own it. It'd be like if Jeff Bezos sold all his Amazon tomorrow. He's not there anymore.
Yeah, but that's not a fair comparison. It'd be like if Jeff Bezos retired 10 years ago and then sold all his shares.
He did. It would be the same thing.
Well, yeah, he's no longer in charge of the company. He doesn't really have access to insider information beyond whatever he has as
yes, he fucking does.
No fucking way in hell he doesn't have it.
He fucking knows everything that's going on there. Have you seen how autistic Bill Gates is?
Have
you seen him dance on cocaine?
Now I want to.
Oh my God. There's like a shareholders meeting from the 90s where they're all just really hopped up on cocaine, but they're so nerdy they don't know how to express it properly. It's beautiful.
Okay, I need to see this.
It was probably around the time that he contracted chlamydia.
Ah, yes. Okay, so I guess it's significant. The market doesn't seem to give a single fuck, although did this happen over the weekend?
It happened recently. I don't remember which day it was.
Yeah, if it happened during the week, the market gives zero fucks.
Well, he hasn't started selling yet, right? Isn't it just a disclosure of an intent to sell?
I don't know. Who knows? I had to look it up, but it matters. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Next question's from Discord. Also, I'd like the Volstar's thoughts on non-obvious impacts of the Strait being closed on different market sectors.
It's bad for every market sector. Literally every single one.
Literally everything. I mean, what's it bullish for? Solar, alternative energy, like uranium, aluminum, plastics, materials.
Yeah. I mean, it's oil.
Yeah. It's everything. It's ubiquitous.
Yeah, it's the blood that flows through the global economy. So
the solid black, thick, sludgy blood.
Yeah.
Of the global economy.
All right. This next question's from YouTube. Do the quants have any stories to share from outings at TGI Fridays that could enlighten the audience?
Rude. Next.
No.
No comment. Next question's from Discord. Are NVIDIA earnings the excuse to release the pent-up constipation in this market and give bears solace in a veritable correction?
What bears?
There are no bears.
They're dead. There's two most profitable traders you can be. You can be the last liquid bear, or you can be the most overly confident bull.
Interesting.
But yeah, I don't know that I necessarily understand the question that
I mean, dispersion will break down. I think that's what they're asking. Is dispersion now going to finally break down once we get past NVIDIA earnings? And yeah, probably. Equity vol is going to slump.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, equity vol slumps, index vol goes up. That's the nature of things. We also right around the same time period hit the blackout period for share buybacks. Not that anyone's buying their own shares anymore, but
Don't say that out loud, Gerg.
Why? It's true.
You'll scare people.
They report it. It's not like a secret. They literally report it to their private client fucking prime dealers, and they then report it to all of their other clients. So yeah, I mean, share buybacks are down because CapEx is up. Also, when the fuck was the last time that like NVIDIA was anywhere near its long run VWAP?
People still look at VWAP on NVIDIA.
I mean, that's where most corporate buybacks occur. Corporations buy at VWAP when they're buying their own stock.
Do you buy at VWAP?
Sometimes.
Mm.
I like VWAP.
Some good insight.
It's like the best indicator.
So one of these is a repeat question that came up, and then the next one, we literally just covered it right there with the dispersion trade. This next question, I don't know where it came from, but reagent squeeze and its effects on inflation. Is there a reagent squeeze going on right now? JFresh, you're the materials guy.
I do need to buy some acetone, but
what are you going to do with that acetone?
Remove that nail polish you got last week. It's really, sorry, man. It just wasn't your color.
You guys are so weird. Reagent price.
We're not the ones who need some acetone. Hold on.
Right.
What the fuck?
I need to get some lye real quick, guys. Hold on a sec. Lots and lots of lye. No reason. I'm doing a lot of pickling.
JFresh is at like Home Depot buying a shovel, 6 rolls of duct tape, and like contractor bags and a hacksaw. And he's like, I'm an engineering professor.
Yeah, I don't know. Like reagents have not done well lately. And like I know like scientific from like academic, it's been down because of all the cuts. So I don't know.
Okay. So probably nothing appreciable at this point.
I mean, are they just referring to like petroleum byproducts? Maybe.
Like, yeah, just like a lack of supply on those. That comes back to the oil impacts, right?
Yeah, that would be the same thing.
Yeah. Everything that is oil derived is going to be more expensive. All right. Next question. Using GS overnight data, GS stands for Gammastrike. What relationship between IV and HV should I pay attention to that would inform me when it is advantageous for participants to constrain price action to be more range bound?
If IV is high.
Yeah. Positive VRP.
Yep.
Very ripe premium.
Volatility return premium. God damn it, JFresh. You're gonna get this. I promise. If volatility return premium, basically the IV over the HV is positive. There's a positive spread, so IV is higher than HV, then it is advantageous to sell options, which has a dampening effect on price action as people short strangle the fuck out of the stock.
Yeah. Why do you think I went with flatter down on Walmart? It's got a little bit of a positive, positive VRP. So,
nice. I'm glad to see you using it.
You know, I just glance at it and I'm like, I can do some stuff with this. Next question. I feel like we're starting to see real public backlash to data centers, the latest Manhattan-sized one that's approved in Utah despite massive local opposition. So this begs the question, when Gammastrike hats?
No, me and JFresh have one, so neither of us have any incentive to make them anymore.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I just made my own. Nothing's stopping you from making your own.
That's not true.
I'm going to answer this question with my own question. When hats, Girk? You're looking mighty snazzy in yours. You see, my head is unladen with a Gammastrike hat.
Wait,
well, I'm not making a Gammastrike fucking beanie, so
why not?
Who's cold? I don't support snowboarding or being outdoors in the winter.
Dork, who did it better? Who did a better job
on the Gammastrike hats?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little undecided. because
I mean,
I think
JFresh has a snapback hat on. This is a fitted hat. I mean, there's just not even a comparison here.
neither of them are trucker hats, so
JFresh
say
is
both
a
lose.
trucker hat.
Is it a truck? Does it have mesh back on it, or is it?
Yeah, it's mesh back.
Okay, JFresh wins.
Wow. Fitted.
It looks good.
You know when I bought you guys the Gammastrike hats, I got them all in your individual sizes.
Yeah, and now I mean it's
you
been
know
so
my
long,
hat
my
size?
head's
Yeah.
my head's not even the same size anymore. He asked us for our sizes.
Did it get bigger?
Yeah, mine did.
You been
Nice.
juicing?
Wait,
Juicing makes
are
you a
we
big
talking?
head.
Are we talking about where you keep your hats? Okay, never mind. Moving on. Stupid bets.
Stupid bets.
It's time for stupid bets, everybody.
Stupid bets, stupid bets. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose?
I
won.
Yeah, you won.
Yeah,
bastard.
I know.
Well,
did I win for the reason I thought I would win? That's the real question.
I don't even remember your reason.
But the BLS was gonna lie.
Did they lie?
Probably.
Let's see. IEA 8.6.
I mean, it was still up. No, it was. They said what, like 5% or something like that. I don't know. I don't know that I believe that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, Girk, you win. You're a bastard. What are we gonna bet on this week?
I don't know.
Is it
I don't want to.
NVIDIA?
I don't want to. I don't want to
300?
come up with it. I'm taxed.
Meet, beat, miss on NVIDIA margin.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
Boom.
No,
Yeah,
I don't like
we
meet,
can
beat,
play the
miss,
margin.
but I like specifically guessing the exact margins that they're going to report. Are we doing EBIT margin or gross or net?
I think gross probably the easiest one to guesstimate.
Gross margins?
Yeah.
I do prefer net margin.
Do you? Okay. Well, we can do net
Well,
margin.
they just post gross margin, so
I guess we could do gross if you guys want to.
I mean, we can do
Gap or
we could do either
non-gap?
way. We could do one or the other. I mean,
non-gap.
So for our listener, NVIDIA's net margin is at 55% and its gross margin is at 71%.
Really?
Which
I'm
one are we
seeing
going with, guys?
Q4 25 gross margin at 75%.
He's looking at the year over year, like the full year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
75% for Q4.
For gross?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to
What's your bet?
say 72%.
Oof.
Damn. Omega Bear.
No. I don't know. 60?
Okay.
The variations are so
10.
wide.
The guy who's been making up the numbers for 3 years can't make this number up.
I'm going to say 80%.
I'm just going to say 75.
Yeah, no, I did think about saying 75. Yeah,
This
70.
is Jensen beat and raise Huang.
I'm going to go 72 or less.
All
I'm going
right.
75.
I'm going 80.
Actually, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm going 60.
You're going 60. Okay.
I'm going 60.
That, sir, is a stupid bet.
I know.
I love it.
Almost as stupid as 80.
You said it yourself. Jensen beaten Ray's Wong. You want to bet against the man?
Yeah, but he beats and raises. That's how you know it's fake, because he beats it just perfectly. It's just like
he treats his company like he treats his kids. You beat and raise them just the right amount.
You don't raise children, you raise farm animals. You rear children.
Okay. I don't think in this post-Epstein world you can refer to rearing children. You should
Listen,
not be
I didn't invent the English language. Okay, I'm just using it.
Jesus Christ! All right, well, there's our stupid bets. I guess it's time for us to end this shit. It's been about 2 hours. I hope everybody enjoyed.
It's been way longer than that. This might be our longest episode yet. Wrong
Ding,
place
dang.
out.
Baby farms.